So we're ready to do the discussions on AM Talk, and I have my first guest in the studio. Patrick Yaw Boamah is a member of parliament for Okaigwe Central, and it is here in the Greater Accra region, and he's also a member of the MPP. He will be joined by another member of parliament for, let me get it, Tete Chai is a member of parliament for Ablekuma Central, and Theophilus will be in the studio very soon. He's also a member, of course, of the NDC. Thanks for joining me. It's been a while I've seen you.
Thank you. Good morning. Not too busy.
Too busy.
But
how are you taking the recess?
It's been work in the constituency, and also the normal legal practice that we do.
Okay. The presidents of Africa have been meeting the American president and his officials in what they call the U.S.-Africa Summit, and following that, we've also been busy taking bailout and making comments, etc., on all of that. Over the next couple of years, the U.S. government will be investing $5 billion in energy across the continent, and already businesses have pledged to invest $14 billion in areas in Africa over the next 3 years. Now, what do you make of this whole summit? Of course, it's not the first time they are convening that.
Thank you very much, and good morning to your viewers. It's a good step by the United States government to call close to about 50 heads of state and heads of government to Washington to have a discussion on the potentials on the African continent, especially in the area of energy. And I must also thank the U.S. government for doling out close to about $500 million to the Ghana government towards the second compact agreement, which was approved by Parliament. But to invest $5 billion in the energy sector, over what period and in which sectors? The energy sector is very wide. Is it in power generation, distribution, or for the effective management of the existing infrastructure that we have? Secondly, you talked about a $14 billion investment by U.S. companies in Africa. Nigeria power needs alone will consume that $14 billion. So that's a drop in the ocean. It's a good step though, but if U.S. companies wants to help Africa, looking at their balance sheets, I'm sure they could have done better. I'm not saying they haven't done well. To even think about investing so much is a step in the right direction, but I think they could have done better. Chevron alone can take over the power needs of Africa. Chevron's assets are worth hundreds of billions of dollars. Halliburton and what have you, the U.S. energy giants, Texaco and what have you. So I think they've done well, but if they want to really partner Africa, I know the Americans have a good heart.
Okay. Over the last couple of days, the commentary on the international media and also by the various known economists and observers on Africa has been that, well, it is the next continent to go to. The question has always been whether the U.S. is too late in coming, because we've had so much incursions and inroads made by China, which seems to be giving assistance to various governments and economies across the continent, just like left, right, center.
Thank you. What has become of those incursions by the other interested players on the African continent? Is it genuine? Is it honest? Is it because they want to take advantage of our weak position to make certain overtures to us in order to harness our natural resources? Look at some of the agreements that we've signed with some of these partners. Hedging your oil, your cocoa beans. You see, when some of these arrangements are entered into, you must take a look at the benefits to the country at large. And at the end of the day, you must make a very critical assessment of those investments. The Americans, I believe, have taken their time to observe the happenings on the continent and have taken the opportunity this time around to bring us together to have a discussion. I think the decision was theirs, the timing was theirs. They think this is the right time to come in. If they come in and the arrangements they enter into are better than what we've received so far from China and the rest of the world, well, there's no point sitting in an arrangement where you are not gaining any benefit. You can opt out, and the consequences are there, though. But if it will help you in the long run.
Okay, well, we'll see. Africa has had a long history with the United States, and for decades we've been receiving aid. We get a lot more grants and also loans for development and for multilateral donor support, etc. Well, the U.S. has announced already plans to spend $110 million annually for 3 to 5 years to help African nations develop rapid reaction peacekeeping forces. And already President Barack Obama has announced a new initiative at the close of the sidelines, all the sidelines of the U.S. Africa Summit, in which we had over 50 African leaders attending. And per the number of all these projects, it will help also build capacity of militaries to rapidly deploy peacekeepers to a variety of war-torn areas and conflict-stricken areas on the continent. And we'll bring you a soundbite from the U.S. President on the sidelines of the summit.